All right, we are in the Trocadero Gardens, and we're going to start off today's show with a salute to dumb movies. Now, you always know it's a dumb movie because when they change scenes, they have to show you the landmarks, because if they don't show you the Hollywood sign or Big Ben or the Shibuya crossing, you're not going to know where you are, apparently. So in that spirit, here's our tribute to dumb movies. We see a shot of the Eiffel Tower. A graphic appears that says Paris, followed by a second graphic that says France. On today's show, we're climbing to the second floor of the Eiffel Tower. That's in Paris. Nico, we're in Paris.
Paris, France?
I think so.
Everything I need is on the ground.
There's a fast montage of videos from places I've visited around the world. I'm Joe LaManna, and this is The Nervous Flyer.
Everything I need is on the ground.
We're inside a train looking out at the countryside. This was the first time I ever arrived in a new country by train. 2.5 hours London to Paris on the Eurostar. The French countryside was really beautiful. We arrived at the Gare du Nord, where we found our first movie location. I'm standing in the spot where Matt Damon stood in a scene from The Bourne Identity. Our hotel was in the 19th arrondissement, near the Bassin de la Villette, part of the city's old system of canals. A very picturesque part of the city. It can be seen in the 1934 Jean Vigo film L'Atlante, where several scenes were shot in and around these very canals. This area is especially nice after a long day of sightseeing, to just stroll the promenade, have a coffee, and to walk across the pedestrian bridge that bounces up and down in an unsettling way. We're now walking on the bridge.
Feel the bridge shaking, Nico. Yeah. Feel it shaking?
Yes, I do now. That's no good. Oh, jeez.
Let's get off this Let's get off this bridge.
We start walking quickly off the shaking bridge. All right, let's get started with our visit to the Musée d'Orsay, a former train terminal turned art gallery. You can easily spend an entire day here. There's so much to take in. There's the Garden of Statues in the main hall, with the highlight being Rodin's Gates of Hell, which depicts a scene from Dante's Inferno. Here at the Musée d'Orsay, the French paintings are the big draw. These are just a few. These are paintings by Vincent van Gogh. This is a self-portrait from 1887. This is Imperial Crown fritillaries in a copper vase. Van Gogh's bedroom in Arles. Paul Cézanne. This painting is Still Life with Open Drawer. The Five Bathers. Still Life with Kettle. This Henri Regnault painting is called Execution Without Judgment, and it shows a grisly beheading. Here are a few paintings by Toulouse-Lautrec. They include The Bed, showing two children sleeping. Alone, showing a woman lying on a bed. Woman pulling her stocking. Jane Averill dancing. And the clowness Sha Yu Cao. Paul Gauguin. His paintings Verumati, The Gold of Their Bodies, and The Meal. This is the famous Pierre-Auguste Renoir painting Bal du Moulin de la Galette. This painting shows a joyful scene of a popular dance garden on the Butte Montmartre. This is the Edgar Degas painting In a Cafe. And right beside it is Gustave Caillebott's The Floor Scrapers. What I noticed right away is how different these paintings are in person. Take Manet's Luncheon on the Grass from 1863. No picture or video can capture just how striking this painting is. The colors are so rich, catches the eye in a profound way. The same can be said about Olympia, another Manet from the same year. This painting was a scandal 150 years ago, partly because of the defiant look that the nude prostitute has. I dare you to judge me, is what she seems to be saying. And of course, along with the sights of these wonderful paintings is my stellar commentary. Here are my thoughts on the world-famous Whistler's Mother.
I don't know why I thought this was a small painting. This is huge. I imagined it was a little thing like this.
That's a once-in-a-generation wordsmith right there. Did you see the latest Nervous Flyer video? He said Whistler's Mother is bigger than you might think. Wow, it's like he puts you right there in the gallery with him. As much as I truly appreciate these gorgeous works of art, my mind does start to wander. Case in point, this famous painting from 1857, The Gleaners by Jean-Francois Millet. My thoughts? Just to give you an idea how my brain works, I know that painting, it's got something to do with poverty or the working class. So when I see it, I just remember a 1962 Pepe Le Pew cartoon where he's walking through the art gallery and his stink messes up a bunch of paintings, including this one here. One of the three women fires a starting pistol and the other two run off the painting. That's not the only Looney Tunes reference in the show, by the way. There's one more coming up. Now, as much as I appreciate the paintings, and I do, I don't feel that I'm that cultured sometimes. I reach a point where I become aware that I'm looking at a painting. Take this Van Gogh self-portrait as an example. A typical conversation in my head goes like this. How long am I supposed to look at it? I mean, I've come all this way. Obviously, I'm going to look at it. Okay, appreciating the painting. Here we go. Was that enough? Okay, just a little more. All right, now I'm looking at it just to look at it. Okay, let's head over to the Louvre, the world's most visited museum. We bought tickets ahead of time, right when the museum opened, so we were able to take advantage of a very brief sweet spot at the beginning of the day when it wasn't wall-to-wall people yet. So we're here first thing in the morning. Look how quiet it is in here. Echo.
This is how it should be.
It doesn't last, but it was nice while it lasted. Let me show you the contrast. This is what one gallery looked like shortly after 9 a.m. Shh, nice and quiet. And this is the same room just 2 hours later. We went to the Louvre to see its most famous exhibit, that of course being the Winged Victory of Samothrace, a 2,200-year-old Greek monument. Very impressive. Just walking around, taking in the thousands of exhibits, seeing the ornate high ceilings, it's hard to imagine that a place like this was somebody's home. People actually lived here. We took in the Marie Antoinette exhibit, some of her furnishings, personal effects, the pristine, gleaming dinnerware and vases. This is where we discovered an unseen bit of security. We're looking at a room of artifacts behind a short barrier.
Ooh. We didn't touch anything, we swear.
You think that alarm went off?
I think we touched this.
Because I poked my finger a little bit too far into the room, and the entire room is coated in those red laser lines from the heist movies that you can't see until you throw the smoke bomb in there.
Well, try again. Put your...
No, I'm not gonna try it again. They're gonna send the polizia.
Well, let me try.
I slowly poke my finger into the room.
Oh, you're right.
Okay.
Oh man, this is...
There's lasers in there.
That is guarded. Okay, first time was an accident. The second time was on purpose, but that was just... we were just testing it out. That's all we were doing.
A short walk from the Louvre are two movie locations. The first is the Pont des Arts, seen in many, many movies, including the 1932 French movie Baudu Saved from Drowning. This is where the title character jumps into the river and is saved from. This bridge was also where Liam Neeson's stunt performer jumped off to save his daughter in the movie Taken. Me and Nico also visited this bridge because it was used as a pit stop for The Amazing Race. This is the second pit stop from that show that the two of us have visited. The first was at the top of the steps at the Atago Shrine in Tokyo. The second movie location we found was at the Colonnade at the Palais Royal. site of a dramatic scene from 1963's Charade with Audrey Hepburn and Cary Grant. I'm standing in front of the tunnel that Audrey Hepburn runs out of. She then runs toward the row of columns in the background. The camera follows her. She stops, sees Walter Matthau, who has a gun, and then there's a big confrontation. I'm standing behind the pillar where Walter Matthau stood. Then I run to the spot in the background where Audrey Hepburn stood, and then way in the background where Cary Grant stood. We change scenes and are now looking at a street from inside a moving subway car. There is a ton of history to take in and appreciate in Paris, too much for one single trip, but we tried to see as much as possible. For example, at the Rue de la Croix Faubert, we briefly took in Les Cinq Dalles de la Guillotine, 5 rectangular slabs of concrete that mark the spot where a guillotine once stood. About 200 public executions took place in this location, the last in 1899. Our next stop was the Place de la République. We went there to find the spot where the first human being was ever captured in a photographic image. It was 1838, and Louis Daguerre, inventor of the daguerreotype, took an image of the Boulevard du Temple from a building that no longer exists. The normally busy streets are empty because of the long exposure time, except for this one blurry man in the bottom left corner, who many guess was getting his shoes shined and would have been standing still long enough to end up in the image. I thought it would be cool to stand in the spot where this anonymous man once stood, and once I read that the original image is actually a mirror image of what Daguerre saw, then figuring out the location was easy. This curve in the road matches what I saw on Google Maps, and once I got there in person, the curve in the road is still there, and an obvious sign I was in the right place. Alright, so after all my extensive research, I found the spot where the first human was caught in an image, and I wanted to come and stand in that spot. So here I am, I've done it. I look at the camera for a moment, look around, and then pull out my phone and start looking at that. And now for the When in Rome segment. We're in a restaurant looking at a plate of 6 large escargots. Let's give this a try, Nico. Oh, that's hot. Why don't we wait a few minutes? I'm not sure. They gave us one of these, and I'm not sure what this is. The this I refer to as a clamp about the size and shape of a nutcracker. Is it to crack it open?
Or is it just to lift it and then
you have to hold it?
Or it's to hold it and you drink from it.
Drink from it? Okay, wait.
I don't know.
No. I got it. It's just to hold it, while the toothpicks we were given is to take it out.
You're a genius.
Let's see if I got this right. The snail is a greenish, brownish, slimy little thing. See it, Nico?
Yeah? You got it.
All right, here goes. I put it in my mouth and take a moment to deliberate. It's nice. It's nice. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It's sort of, the texture is mushroom-like. So it's in that vein. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it tastes like a mushroom, but the texture is sort of in that vein. All right, let's try another one. And then you're gonna try the next one.
Oh, did you eat that? That was the whole one?
Yeah.
Oh. They're tiny. I mean, I guess they're snails, so I should have figured, but...
Now, what about this is not appetizing, Nico? All right, here goes. That's good.
Still good?
That's good.
There you go. Seal of approval.
And now it's your turn. Nico tries his hand at fishing out a snail.
These things have chocolate in the look. There we go.
All right. All right, go ahead.
Ooh, it's hot. You didn't tell me it was hot.
Oh, I was supposed to tell you it was hot?
Not bad though.
It's good, isn't it? Oh, we thought we were done with the escargot, which were very good, but our great waiter here told us that you're supposed to empty out the shells, because they've got the garlic and the oil and all that side, so you're supposed to empty it out. And then you get the bread, and then you dunk your bread in that wonderful garlic oil mixture. And that's the second half of eating the escargot. And that's really good. It's tasty too. It's very good. Back on the subway to our next destination. Okay, let's lighten the mood a bit and talk about the Reign of Terror. This is the Place de la Concorde, formerly the Place de la Révolution. This is where King Louis XVI famously met the guillotine in 1793. Later that same year, his wife, Marie Antoinette, met the same fate. A year after that, the Place de la Concorde saw the end of Robespierre. Robespierre was a statesman and a major figure in the revolution. He was also referenced in my all-time favorite Looney Tunes film, Porky Pig's Feet, a Frank Tashlin cartoon from 1943.
You've had your coffee racing for this week, Robespierre.
We also found one movie location here in the Place de la Concorde, right beside one of the two huge fountains in the square. This is from The Devil Wears Prada, where Anne Hathaway throws her cell phone into the fountain as a final act of defiance. Let's start wrapping things up with a few more movie locations. We paid a visit to the Sacré-Cœur Basilica, where on the steps leading to the church, we found a scene from the 1958 World War II movie The Young Lions, with Maximilian Schell and Marlon Brando as German officers. And it was around Notre Dame Cathedral that we found 4 other movie locations. The famous bookstore Shakespeare and Company has been the site of many movie scenes, including Midnight in Paris with Owen Wilson. Right across from the cathedral is another location from Charade. This time Hepburn and Grant are walking and talking by the riverbank. Further upriver is another scene from The Bourne Identity. Matt Damon and Franca Potente have just arrived in Paris on the run from the authorities. And lastly, on Ile Saint-Louis, with Notre Dame in the background, we found a scene from another World War II movie from 1966 with Christopher Plummer called Triple Cross. Our trip is over. Now it's time for that coffee. Trip's almost over, Nico. What was your favorite part of the trip?
I think getting to see all the cool paintings in the museums was my favorite part.
I would agree, especially for some of them, that first moment when you sort of walked in the room and there it was. Felt that for Olympia and one forgetting the name of the painting, but it was a French painting. Luncheon on the Grass, you dummy. And just the colors, when you see it in person for the first time, just incredible. So it's been a great trip, and I'm feeling like I did when we left Tokyo. We can't see everything, but I'm very grateful for what we did get to see. So it's been a pleasure, Nico.
As it has for me.
There's a montage of some of the sights of Paris, including the Arc de Triomphe, the Venus de Milo statue at the Louvre, teenagers skateboarding at the Place de la République, a gargoyle on the side of Notre Dame, a boat drifts by on the canal. We see hundreds of lovelocks on a bridge. An accordion player playing for tourists. A subway crossing the Pont de Bir Hakeim. And finally, we end on a lift bridge crossing the Canal de la Villette. The picture slowly fades to black. Cut to a large crowd at the Louvre in line to see the Mona Lisa. Well, there it is, Nico. What do you think?
I think it's pretty cool.
And now we can say we've seen it. There's lots of energy in this room, by the way. There's like everyone is excited to see it, and it looks more vivid in person. Like it's hard to describe, but the colors look deeper and richer in person than it would any reproduction or photograph I've seen. So it's really cool to be here, and it's really cool to see it. I remember a conversation I had with a great art teacher in high school when some student had criticized the Mona Lisa, said it's just a tourist trap. There are better paintings in the world. And the art teacher kind of agreed. He said, yeah, there are subjectively maybe better paintings in the world, but he challenged us not to just dismiss something that's popular. He said there's a reason things are popular, so before you just dismiss something, just try to think of a reason why something like this is popular in the first place. So when people dismiss the Eiffel Tower as a tourist trap, I think they're missing the point. This is an astonishing monument to a different time, a different mentality, when people thought that anything was possible, that anything could be done, certainly anything could be built. The organizers of the 1889 World's Fair were looking for some kind of symbolic gateway. So what did they decide? Well, they said, let's just build the tallest thing that's ever been built in the history of the world. And I think that's incredible. And today we're here to walk to the second story of the Eiffel Tower. Visitors have the option to take the stairs if they want, or to take the elevator for a higher price. So we're here to take the stairs. I'm ready to go. Are you ready, Nico?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, so today's climb is dedicated to my wife Prima and my kids Nico and Bella. I love you guys very much. You are everything. We start our climb. The stairs at the Eiffel Tower are all caged in, so no one can accidentally fall. For the record, 328 steps to the first floor. So, no piece of cake, no problem. Sign says 10 minutes to the first floor. I say take your time. We pass a sign that says stay hydrated in English, and in the next shot I stop to drink some water. Take a break. We arrive at the first floor. We made it to the first floor. We're halfway there. We took a break to look at the city from the first floor. It's only 57 meters up, but still gives a great view. We see Sacré-Cœur to the northeast. And then we look south to see the river and a few bridges. Okay, second floor, we're rested up. Let's go, second floor, here we go. We start the second leg. We see an elevator that is going down beside the staircase. I think the second leg is longer than the first. Yeah, it's definitely longer. Nico?
Yeah.
Whose dumb idea was this? Nico points his finger right at me. Okay. But we're having fun, right? What else are we going to say right now? All right, I think this is the final push to the top. We're almost to the second floor. Are you ready for the final ascent?
Let's go.
Okay. Just give me 10 more seconds. Whew. All right, you ready? Here we go. I make my way up the final flight of around 20 stairs. When I reach the top, I throw my arms up in celebration. All right, we made it. How you doing, Nico?
I'm okay.
All right, great.
Nice breeze up here.
Yes. You're the best, you know that?
You as well.
I couldn't have done this without you. I love you, you're the best.
I love you too.
We look at the camera for a moment, then Nico rests his head on my shoulder. We both laugh. Cut to black. Produced by Nicholas Lamanna. Written and edited by me, Joe Lamanna. Don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe to The Nervous Flyer. I don't know what my next destination is. I'll let you know when I'm booked. Until then, send me your comments and any suggestions for future destinations you might have.